Sometimes I feel like I can't express myself, you know? And then it just leads to the video not looking as good. And it's just frustrating because I see myself working up into this negative mind state.
Just don't let it get to you, man. Like, it's not even that deep. Like, don't let it be that deep.
How am I supposed to make a video about self-love when I'm fucking like this? Hello boys and girls, I hope every single one of you is keeping healthy, staying happy. Firstly, I apologise for any noise in the background. I'm literally right next to a main road and there's just bare lorries and cars going by all the time. So what I wanted to speak to you guys about today is something that's very relevant for myself, for you guys, for everybody, and that's why it's so important to love yourself. Now, I was very reluctant to make this video because I'm really not experiencing an abundance of it myself right now. My irrational thoughts and behaviours really are not, correlating with someone that has a healthy relationship with themselves. So don't see me as any guru. I just felt that regardless of my own personal experience with it, it doesn't change the fact that the message can still be beneficial for other people. So the first thing that I'm going to speak about is self-appreciation. Now, a lot of people can quite easily misinterpret any kind of, self-appreciation as arrogance or cockiness. People are so hesitant to say anything good about themselves, but can so easily give off compliments to other people for either their looks or an achievement they've done. If you're able to do that with someone else, why are you not able to give that to yourself? Now, I'm a very firm believer that a large portion of people's problems stem from some kind of internal conflict. So the healthier relationship you can establish with yourself, the more that will reflect your relationships and interactions with everything externally. If you think that you have really nice hair, like, vocalize it, man. If you think you're a good runner, say, yeah, I'm a sick runner, I can run well far. Whatever it is that you like about yourself or you think you've done well, don't be afraid to recognize that. And if you start to consistently feed yourself positive messages and thoughts, it's only going to do good for you. It's going to boost your self-esteem, your confidence, and just make that relationship with yourself that little bit healthier. Now, over the last few months, I've gone through varying periods of copious amounts of self-love to very intense self-hatred. And the thing that was keeping me in that negative period, preventing me from moving on, was the fact that I wasn't able to forgive myself. Now, the situation that I ended up in was largely due to my own actions. I just wasn't able to move on from that in my head. Even at the point where everyone and everything had moved on, in my noggin, I was still stuck in the past, going through the same cycle of frustration and anger at myself for the actions I'd done. Now, obviously, it is important to recognize when you have done something wrong, and it's okay to be frustrated and angry with yourself sometimes, but it's at the point where you begin to dwell on it that it becomes unhealthy. Rather than dwelling on your own actions and your thoughts, use it as an opportunity to see how you can do differently in the future. So learn to forgive yourself, because everybody fucks up at some point. So yeah, sometimes you just gotta give yourself a big old hug and say, you know what, it's okay, I forgive you. And as cheesy and corny as that sounds, it actually works, It feels nice. I can feel my mood picking up so much from earlier when I tried to record this. Literally, I don't know, I just feel like it's free flowing a bit better. So lastly, what I wanted to mention is something that I think a lot of people, including myself, can fall into the habit of very easily sometimes. And that is the idea that something external is necessary to provide you happiness. Now, this could be alcohol or cigarettes, money, video game that you play. For me, it tends to be with people, particularly in a romantic sense. But what myself and many other people don't realise or easily forget is that you have all the tools to provide yourself with happiness in here and in here. Now again, that sounds crazy cheesy, but it's so true. And obviously you can find appreciation or enjoyment out of external things, but it's about not falling into the trap of believing that it's required for you to have happiness. And the reason it's so important for you to be able to recognize that is because everything external that you interact with is just transient, you know, it's temporary. That pack of cigarettes you bought, that's gonna run out eventually. That video game, you're gonna complete it at some point. Everyone around you, you know, as much as you love them, at some point they won't be there. Whereas you have yourself right from the moment you're born till the moment you die. There isn't a single second of my life that goes by where I'm not gonna be with Thomas. So, it only makes sense to establish a healthy relationship with yourself, you know? I forgot to mention something when recording a couple of days ago, and it really is something I cannot stress enough, and that is to make sure that you never compromise who you are as a person or what you stand for. Now, it's very easy to do this for the sake of other people, either to please someone or to fit into a group maybe, but I assure you that the more you do this, the lower your self-esteem is going to be, because you know deep down that you're not being true to who you are. But the more that you begin to stand by your beliefs and those values, the more you begin to recognize that self-worth. And obviously it's not an overnight job, but after a while you really begin to see that value. So I'm gonna give you guys some tips to maybe try implement into your own lives that could help, and that is to either in the mornings or just whenever you become conscious of it, really verbalize to yourself at least 3 things that you love about who you are. It could be how you look, it could be your bubbly personality, anything. Really bring it to the forefront of your mind and put your full attention into it, because piece by piece, as you do this, you're slowly beginning to establish that healthier relationship with yourself. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I had to say for this little walking segment. Back to wavy shirt Tom. So these things that I'm mentioning, I can only really speak off of my own personal experience. So these are the things that I find important to implement in my life. Obviously there may be different things that work for other people, but this is what I personally find beneficial. It feels like I talk about these things as if it's something you'd be like, bang, done, yeah, I love myself. That's not the case. Obviously it's stuff that you need to work on a lot. Changing behaviours, your thought patterns does take a long time to do, but at least recognising the behaviours and the thoughts that maybe you want to start to transform is the first step, you know? So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I've wanted to cover today. I may not have been the most vibrant in this video, as I say. I was getting a bit worked up trying to record this before this video, but I do really hope that, you know, some of the stuff that I spoke about today, some of you can resonate with maybe. Possibly you can maybe take something away from the video, help implement it into your own life. I don't know. However guys, as I do always say in these videos, everything we say is an opinion and everything we see is a perspective. So nothing that I've spoke about today is inherently correct. It is just my personal perception on the topic. If you do want to see more from me chatting grease to a camera, make sure to spud that subscribe button. And until next time, I hope every single one of you stays blessed, stays balanced, and remember to love yourself, guys. Cheers. But what?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah.
Don't know where that one came from.
Love it.
Where is it leading from that point?
His friends dying.
That's it, yeah, everyone's dead. That's it, end of video. Go on, who are you?
Well, go on then, who are you? Right, they're good.
I'm Ronnie Pickering!
Why are ya?